Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor. I have worked about 10,000 cases. I worked at IRS over a decade. Me and my M&M man give you a thumbs up for listening today. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My YouTubes are short, sweet, they're to the point. I don't like to waste time. I like to show you what an IRS agent looks at a case so you understand how IRS looks at a case. Many of these YouTubes are people who have work cases and they're telling you their opinion. I'm actually taking an IRS position and showing you what you need to do and how you have to go ahead and operate a case and what to do on that type of case. So today I want to talk to you about, have you got a proposed notice of assessment for a trust fund pending liability on a form 2751 or 1153. So as a former IRS agent, I have set up thousands, maybe 1,000. I don't want to go thousands, maybe 1,000 trust fund penalties. I just want you to tell you the process, what you need to do. I want to tell you about the 2751 or the 1153 accompanying letter that you have. IRS, the revenue officer, one of my jobs I had at IRS, I would make a determination for a company, corporation, of non-paid trust fund debt. This is corporations. Sole proprietors, you have to pay the whole thing. If you have a corporation, IRS imposes the 6672 penalty on you, which is called the trust fund penalty. What is the trust fund penalty? Well, if you look at a 941, the trust fund penalty comprises of two things: the withholding and one half of the Social Security. Those two will impose against the responsible individuals. So IRS generally imposes about 60% of the total debt against those who are held responsible. IRS has a whole different variables on who's responsible. As a former agent, I would take a 4180 interview. You should be familiar with that, and download the form and see the questions they're going to ask. I think it's a 5-page form now. They're going to look at bank signature cards, corporate resolutions, canceled checks, 941s, 1120s, who signed, who was in charge, who did this, who did that, who did that. So IRS, at the end of this investigatory process, they take the 4180, look at the check, summons for this, summons for that. They then go ahead and determine who they're going to assert the trust fund penalty against. And there's two forms that initially go out as a result of that, and that's the IRS form 2751 and the form 1153-DO. The 2751 form itself is the notice of proposal on how much you are going to owe. There's two important columns on that. The first is what the company still owes, and the second is what the trust fund liability is going to be against the individual who IRS chooses to be responsible, or persons they choose to be responsible. So IRS may take 10 people, they may take 5. The revenue officer has complete authority to set up as many people or persons as they think should be held responsible. I know on one case I held 12 people. On most cases I held 1 or 2. So IRS will make a thorough investigation to find out. The 4180 interview, they probably talk to 5, 6 people in the company, and everyone tries to throw each other really under the bus. But just because IRS wants to impose this 2751 penalty against you, we don't have to accept it. You can go ahead and appeal it in 60 days and have your day in with an appellate officer and tell them, hey, I'm not responsible. I really wasn't in control. I didn't make all the decisions. I may have some responsibility, but not all the rest. So just because you got that 2751, if it's a small case, handle it yourself. If it's anything substantial, 30, 40, 50, up to a couple million, I've handled $5 million trust fund cases. You're going to want to get somebody involved to give you the very best trust fund defense, because if in fact you're held liable, okay, by the time this assessment comes out, it'll be 6 to 9 months later, they fully plan to come after you as though you owe 1040 taxes. They're going to take a financial statement, and then IRS will make a determination whether they put your case in hardship payment agreement, or go ahead and you can file an offer and compromise. So you should always appeal. The only people I tell you not to appeal, if you're a single member, you wrote all the checks, you did anything, no one else is there, you're not going to win the case. But anybody else, I would appeal. You have my number. You can contact me for questions. You can contact me for representation. I try to share everything I know to you. Subscriptions are very important to me. It helps YouTube know what's important, who's giving you the best information. Likes are great. Subscriptions are the best. So, by the way, if you have a question, comment, leave it. If you want me to do a YouTube on something in this industry with IRS, just call me and I'll probably do it for you. Thank you. Subscriptions are king. Thank you.